Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be doing a PvP tier list, and then I also have a list for PvE only units, just because that's like units that are like 99% only going to be used in PvE, just because I didn't want to throw them. A lot of units are just like delete from the game, like a lot of them basically have like no use, or like they're the ones to like summon demons, which are just basically useless in my opinion, so I'm not gonna like actually rank them, or they're just really bad and just I'm too lazy to actually throw them in their own tier. Like I don't know, I just, it's just units that I have never seen in PvP. Like I have never seen a singular one of these units in PvP except for like when they first dropped essentially. So yeah, let's just hop right on in. We have SS plus tier, A tier, B tier. Why does it say negative B tier? B tier, C tier, PvE, and delete from the game. So basically, I was just too lazy to actually rank them. All the slime units, basically almost all of the collab units are in here because they're pretty much all terrible, except for like the KOF units. They actually have some use. The ReZero units, they had some use, and the new KOF units. Those like the only two collabs that have had any good units. So yeah, if you guys see a unit down here, that's why. I just was too lazy to rank it, and they're not really usable. So yeah. These are the ones that I have at the top. SS plus Zildris, Terry, and Green Gother. Terry is like on every single Bond team. Zildris is on every debuff team, and Gother is in every single target Unga Bunga DPS team, and then also the Diva or the King team. I'm gonna be moving some of these around, don't worry, because I know that some are on this here, but this is like roughly where I had them last time. I don't have it saved, but this is like where I was like, alright, this is around where they were last time. So in my opinion, I think Summer Merlin is an SS unit. Like she's absolutely ludicrous, you know, with the attack skill and whatnot. It's just insane. Goddess Liz has gone up one tier. She was in B tier, I think I dropped her down last time, but that's when Fest Goth was way more prominent. But Bond has slowly came back since the last time I did it, because the Horizon Bond has come back, so the Fest Gothers are gone, so now Goddess is actually usable. And also, I'm doing this with all Holy Relics intended, so obviously some of the units will get better once Holy Relics get added, but yeah, I have to go based off of the Holy Relics. We'll be going all the way up to the new Tarmeo, which is right here. I don't know why I don't have Kusek up here. I mean, in my opinion, I think Kusek is an absolute top tier unit. Like, unless you face, like, I don't know, a Trader Mellie, he doesn't do that well against Trader Mellie, I think. Like, any other Fest unit, he's just like, he does really good damage. Like, I don't know. He obliterates me whenever I find him. Ludo, he's a pretty good unit, but he still isn't that great. I don't know. I don't really like him. I think Trader Millie's at the bottom, right? Yeah, okay, I haven't ranked him yet. Okay. These are like some units that I'm actually like genuinely wanting to rank because I think it's actually kind of like, I guess Kyo is kind of obvious. He's kind of everywhere in PvP. He is faltering a little bit because of the Molaskulas everywhere. You know. And there are some nasty Scotty teams, I won't lie. Where did I put Scotty? I put her in B. She could probably be A, but I just haven't seen her enough to actually like push her up anymore. Rom, she's a really good backline support unit, but I never really see the unknown team. That's the one problem, because a lot of people just don't have Amelia 6'6", and that's just one big problem. Valenti is toxic in like the one King team, you know, where it's like King, Valenti, and then like a Green Gother or a Ludo or something, you know. That's like her only team, but it is really good, especially if you go first. Full stance teams, they're pretty goddamn gross. I don't even know why I have Assault Mellie up here, but he is good. I can't lie, he is good. You know, just full demon teams are pretty gross if you misplay. Like if you just don't get good RNG, you know, you attack once on accident, they have Sigurd, then they get like 10 buffs and then it's basically over. Merlin, she is still a very good unit, just not seen as much, but with the new Tarmeo, I'm pretty sure she'll be everywhere on global. So hopefully we get a new infect unit, because I don't really want to only use Merlin, especially because people are just going to be using Merlin with the Tarmeo Grace, which is going to be broken, so there's that. The new Sariel is really bad on the field, but as a link, she is absolutely insane. So if you want to count it as a link, then I would put A, but as a unit, I would put B tier. So yeah, there's that. Twigo, obviously, you know, it's just a really good support for Bond. Chandler, I think he's a really, really good taunt unit, either on the stance team or just with the Trader Mellie team. I think he's very, very good. Amelia, obviously. Droll. I'm actually going to drop down Droll. I don't know why I put him that high. I haven't seen him there so long. Elizabeth, she's a very, very good unit. Just a really, really good backline unit. I know I'm hopping everywhere, but, like, I mean, it's kind of obvious why some of the units are up here. You know, Margaret, full Archangel team. Tarmeo, full Archangel team. Red Gother, attack ceiling is pretty toxic unless you have a cleanse. And there's, like, one unit with a cleanse in the game. Basically went over the units. Ragnarok Diane. Okay, this is a bit of bias, in my opinion. If you have a maxed out Diane, she's absolutely insane. She removes all buffs, or she removes 3 buffs / debuffs. She gains 40% damage with her ultimate, and she just pops off. Like, I've hit a 4 million ult with Diane. Granted, I had Margaret on the team, so I had a pretty good buff, but, like, she does work. So I'm going to put her up top tier. If you want, you can definitely put her down to B tier, but I will not let her go lower than B tier. I hate people that just shun on her just because, oh, she's a green unit, so she's bad. It's like, bro, I've stomped Purgatory Bonds with her. I don't know what you mean. I just use HP defense, and I just tank. Yeah, let's go through this list now. Fesco, he's definitely good, especially if you have like a Summer Merlin team and you get a really good, decent RNG. You can definitely pop off. But with Bond teams everywhere, like, it is very, very difficult to obviously survive, and you kind of have to like slowly build up. Whereas Diane with a Keo team, you're gonna be popping off right away. That's like the only difference. And his ultimate isn't amazing, especially against a Bond team. Diane can wipe a Bond team because she removes all the buffs, but if the go through it doesn't wipe, then they just full heal. So Shin, he's a very, very good unit with Relic. He'd probably be like top of this tier list, to be honest, or like the B tier in my opinion, just because he dominates in PvP. Like, he's insane if you build him. I think HP crit is probably going to be his best set because you definitely want him to be a bit tankier, and like he does enough damage because with his Relic he guarantees crit, or is it his passive? I can't really remember. One of those two. Guarantees crits and does like an extra 50% every time he crits. So he does insane damage. And then if you have like a Keo team or a full Catastrophe team built up with 4 Holy Relics, it's just disgusting. I'm gonna turn the music up a little bit. I think it's a bit too quiet. Probably still a bit too quiet, but Eason, very good cleanse unit. I think she's a very good unit on the Bond team. I still think Terry's better. Obviously, he self-cleanses. He has a really crazy ultimate, but I think Eason is probably the 3rd or 2nd best 3rd unit on the team. You know, Bond, Arthur, and then Terry number 1. Keo or Eason are interchangeable in my opinion. Melaskula, very, very annoying. Melaskula always cucks my Diane team because of the revive, and I have no buff removal. And then the green one just makes it so Keo just is basically useless, and it's super, super annoying. So that's why I've been running the Sariel Grace. I think it's one of the best graces in the entire game, right next to the red Tarmeo one. Melaskula's just cucked me, except the blue one. I threw the blue one down here. I think it's a terrible unit. Like, unless you run like a Keo debuff team, which honestly I should do one day, because I've never done a blue Melaskula video on my channel. It's just that I don't have any SA coins, so I can't really upgrade her. But yeah, blue Droll, pretty good taunt unit, especially with the Assault Melee team. You know, I kind of want to try a Droll team with Diane. Probably this Droll because I think it would be better. I don't really need 2 taunt units, to be honest. I would like a little bit more of ult control. I saw Nexus, my friend, use green Droll, I believe it was, with, I think it was Scotty, if I'm not mistaken, and it looked like it worked out pretty well for him. So I don't know, I'm better than him, so why not? Sigurd, good debuff unit. Lost Vein, he's just fallen off really, really hard. You obviously just never see him. Like, every like few thousand matches maybe you'll see him in the back line, but that's about it. And it's just some bot at like Champ 5 that doesn't play the game anymore. Blue Dairy, good unit. I don't know. Also, I think I'm going to bump up some of these units. I won't lie. Like, looking at it, I'm probably going to bump some of them up. But Blue Dairy, good taunt unit. She's really tanky. You attack her 2 or 3 times in her turn, I believe. You lock your ultimate gauge. So, you know, get wrecked, bro. It's actually a pretty good passive. So, yeah, I'm going to put her there. Buff removal as well. Really, really nice, especially against a Bond team. This king, if he gets his ult, especially with his Relic and the Elaine team, it goes burr. It does pop off. But you obviously need the full Holy Relic team in order for it to really work. But he can definitely work. He can definitely be pretty nasty. So if you see this king, you better kill him or the Elaine. Otherwise, you're just gonna lose because it does come back really hard. Rugel Omega Rugel. I mean, he's a Pierce unit. You build up a good Pierce team with Trader Mellie, Rugel, and maybe Ludo or the Arthur. And if you go first, you could probably wipe a team in one turn, but you'd have to go first, and Rugel CC is horrible, so he's alright. Rem is a pretty good unit, you know, really good single target amplify unit. Can probably work with the unknown team, but she's just a bit too niche. I don't know. She's just like a glass cannon, essentially. So she's not amazing. She's not like Trader Mellie, where he has insane defense stats and insane attack stat. Glocks is actually a really good control unit. So, I mean, if you want to try building him, I would highly recommend it. It's pretty good. Athena, there for her passive in the back. That's basically it. Does it work in the back? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it does. I know it works in 4v4, but that's the only time I ever see her in Guild Wars. The Guild Thunders, really good backline units for the Angel team, and that's basically about it. I'm probably going to bump up Shin. The Green Shin, he's pretty good. Green Roxy is pretty good. Sorry, I was a bit too harsh on him. Like, he's a really good Grace, and I'm counting this Sariel as a Grace, so I'll just bump him up to here as a Grace, and here as a unit. I think he's a pretty bad unit, to be honest. I've never really seen him pop off for, like, quite a while. Blue Roxy is a really niche unit. If you get godlike RNG, she's probably an SS tier unit, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty goddamn toxic. But if you don't, then she's kind of just, she's alright. Lilia, I think she's a B unit. She is pretty toxic on the Bond team, I can't lie. Applying that corrosion is pretty gross. Red Roxy is pretty damn good with Relic and whatnot. This is all with Relic, obviously. MK2, I'll probably just leave her. Her Relic is alright. She's good, but just not like the best out of the OC units. Ragnarok Bond, I haven't actually tested yet, unfortunately, so if you guys have a different opinion on him, let me know down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, he's alright. He's not amazing or anything, but yeah. Green Easton and Monspeed, they're both just DPS units on the Kyo team. They're alright, but Lilia still far out, like, surpasses them. They're good, though. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to put them up to B, though, because they're very squishy. They're very green. They're green glass cannons. In this meta, it's not the best idea to be a green glass cannon. Unless you're facing on the one Escanor team, then it could be pretty well. Matrona's just a buff unit. And yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about on this. That was a lot of talking, I'm not going to lie. I'm so sorry. So, let's get to the units. Diane. One of my favorite Fest units. In my opinion, I think she's one of the best Fest units in the game. I 100% think she's better than the one Escanor. I think the one Escanor is a terrible unit in PvP nowadays. In PvE, yes, he is very good for deer. I think he's alright at bird. I don't know. I just don't think he does enough damage. Like, my Diane out DPS is a rank 3 Escanor, so I don't know. And that's HP defense, so, you know, I don't know. But I'm gonna, I wish there was an S tier. You can argue. I'm going to put a little bit of bias because I have stomped everyone in PvP realistically, unless I face the Green Melascula team in SS. Like, she's really good. She's really good. I stomped Bond teams. I stomped Volume Merlin teams. I stomped the one Escanor Trader Mellie teams. I stomped King teams. Free to play. Even though I'm saying these are all units that are 6/6 max relic and whatnot, but free to play, I guess most people would probably put her in A tier. Like, I think she's good. I don't know why people don't like her. Like, every single video I've done, Diane does perfectly fine. She doesn't. She really never dies. She rarely ever dies, and that's what a tank is there for. People are like, she needs to be a DPS. She's not there as a DPS. She's there as a tank. Like, she's a tank at the first half, and then she's an absolute monster at the end. Like, I don't know. That's all I'm going to get into it. She's a very good unit. Okay, well, I'm just going to... I think she's the king of PvP. Right now, I think she is the best unit in PvP, Blue Lilia. Unless you face a Green Melascula, I think you probably just win if you go first with this unit on your team. Unless you get terrible RNG, obviously, you know, they could cuck you, they could use some evasion food or something. So it's like 9 times out of 10, you'll probably win your match, which in my opinion is what makes an SS plus unit. So yeah, she's just absolutely disgusting. I feel bad for the people who missed her. Green Melascula, she's really good. If you build her and you build up her team, you have the 100% lifesteal passive where she's just making you just have insane stats. you could put her on a lot of teams and just have fun. Assault Mellie you could probably do, which is probably like the hardest one to make her work, but it does work. The Lilia, Moascula, and Kyo team is really, really good. You could probably even take out Kyo and just put like Trader Mellie or Fesgother or something, just to add a little bit more debuffs, but then Trader Mellie would be the other DPS instead of the Fesgother. Like, Fesgother's a little bit more debuff, Trader Mellie's a little bit more damage. That sounds a bit better. So yeah, like, this is not in any order, by the way. This is not in any order. I'm just putting Lilia as the absolute #1 unit. She is absurdly disgusting. Elaine, I think, is an A tier unit. I actually think she's up by like Ludo level Cusack. Like, she's really, really good. Every time I see her, I'm like, oh my freaking god, I have to kill that unit. Like, she is a menace. She is scary. She's not too tanky though, which is one thing. You will definitely have to build her, so that way she can live, especially with Kyo and Lilia teams everywhere. So keep that in mind. But she's definitely a very, very good unit. Highly recommend building her if you have deer mats to waste and you don't really care for the Angel team. Purgatory Bond, he's an absolute menace. I hate to say this, but I don't think it's Bond that makes the team good. I think it's all a supplementary facts to it. Like, Bond is good, but if he didn't have his busted Holy Relic, he would be terrible, because the way to kill him is you have to kill his side taunt units first, and then you get to him. But he basically has a full HP support by the time his entire team is dead, so it's basically like you never really killed his team. Obviously, it's a little bit less HP. Like, I think it's like 15% less HP, because 30 and then 30 from King and Twigo, so it's a little bit less. But he mostly always gets his ultimate if he's like the only unit on the field. That's disgusting. But you have to get through the Arthur. He's going to be built up max pass. You have to get through the Terry, which probably already wiped you, because he can literally just cleanse anything besides the stance and freeze, obviously. It's so dumb. I hate carrying his Holy Relic. It's stupid. I want to delete him from the game. I should have put him down here. But yeah, I think Bond is an absolute SS unit, unfortunately. Hopefully we get another unit, a blue fest unit, hopefully, to just like kind of cuck him. But then we're going to end up cucking my Diane, and I'll probably cry a little. So who knows. Chad King, SS unit. Like, he's crazy. Like, the only thing that makes him crazy is his shield. I'm never really like too impressed by his damage, but his shield and like his ability to tank, unless you have like a really good unit like a rank 3 cleave or something. Like, if he gets a rank 3 AoE turn 1, bro, it's just, you're done. Like, you might as well just forfeit at that point. Like, it's so gross. I hate it with a passion. It's just so unfair just because they go first, and it's like, okay, here's an impenetrable shield, try to break through it. Yeah, it's pretty cringe, bro. So that's King, top tier unit. I want to rank Mono. I did a video the other day with Mono, Green Mono on the full OC team. It's like the only team that you can work on. Basically, the team is Lilia, Mono, backline unit will most likely be either Easton most of the time, Awakened Easton. Base Red Easton does work, or Zeldris. Zeldris is like the last one, because if you just don't have the other Eastons built up and you have Zeldris built, he does work because they all debuff. And then the third unit could be like base Valenti, MK2, or even Shin, just some OC. But I think Mono is an A tier unit. I don't think she's S tier, just because she's a bit too squishy. And if people know what they're doing, they just target down the Mono first. Like, I know it's crazy. You don't want to go for the Lilia first. You want to go for the Mono first, because the Mono will come back. Like, and if you take away the Mono debuff, Lilia is kind of just sitting there with one less debuff, and she can't really pop off as much on the OC team. So I highly suggest killing the Mono first. But yeah, I think she's a good unit. She's just kind of lacking a little bit more support, but that's just me. Trader Mellie, I don't think he's that good. I genuinely don't. Like, he's an SS unit, but out of all these units, out of like the main DPSs, I think he's worse than Fest Diane. I think he's worse than Chad King. I mean, he basically just counters Chad King, so I don't know. Maybe Chad King is worse than Trader Mellie, because Trader Mellie just has that Pierce card. But he's worse than Purgatory Bond, 100%. He's worse than Lilia, because Lilia just one-taps him. You can't one-tap Lilia. Like, unless you go first and they have a bad Lilia, there's just no way. Like, there's just no way. I mean, Kyo, he's pretty old, so I assume he's probably better than him, but Kyo's just there for passive, not really damage. Some of Merlin characters attack you to death, and Melascula makes Trader Mellie do like no damage if you're facing it, and you have a Kyo Trader Mellie team. Like, you just don't do anything to this team. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. I personally don't like Trader Mellie, so that could be why. Maybe I just have a big bias towards him, but I've never really liked Trader Meliodas. I don't know. I'm never really scared whenever I face Trader Mellie, unless it's something like Guild Wars. In Guild Wars, I'm always terrified facing any big AoE unit, because it's just like I always go second and I always die. But, I don't know. Obviously, if you like Trader Mellie, use him. Like, he's a good unit. Any of these units in SS tier, you should build. Like, they're all good. But I'm just spitting my facts. I think Diane is a better fest than Trader Mellie. Change my mind. You can't, because I'm biased. Anyways, the one Escador. In PvP only, I think he's A tier. In PvP only, I think he's worse than Cusack, in my opinion. And if you go PvE though, he would be SS tier, because he makes the deer an absolute joke. Like, he's insane. I will go over a little bit of PvE units that you should build as well, just because why not. But yeah, the one Escanor is just, I'm never afraid of him. Like, it's like, oh, it's the one Escanor. Okay, I'll just, like, even with my full stance team, no Lilia, no Kyo, I'm not scared of the one. The one is just so average to me nowadays. I don't care. He's a CC walking stick, and that's it. Unless you get a rank 3 first turn, I just, like, I don't really care. I don't, you're gonna, like, patience me, basically. So, that's just my opinion. Tarmeo. I have faced him, I've watched a few videos, and I think he is a bad unit in the front line. I think he is meant as a strict link only. I could be wrong. I'm going to be play testing him out once he drops on global. Just beware, I'm going to be doing a Diane and Tarmeo video first, because Diane is my #1 unit in the game. Fight me for it. But I don't think he's that good. Like, unless you're counting him as a Grace, I think he's an A or B tier unit. Like, low A, high B. Like, he did a rank 3 on my Diane, my free-to-play Diane, and it did like 20,000 damage. So, I don't know, bro. And that's his flood card with a buff. He had a buff as well. I can't remember if he had relic, but I mean, the relic just only stops ultimate actually, and since I had a debuff immunity, it didn't really matter. But yeah, if he's just his Grace though, I mean, not relic, I think I said relic, but just his Grace, SS tier, that thing is insane. That is the best Grace in the game, goddamn. Right next to, second best would probably be Sariel's. But in game, I don't know, man, I just don't care about that unit. Like, yes, if you attack him twice, he negates you, but like, as long as you don't use full AoE teams, you're fine. And I use mainly single target teams anyways, so I'm good, bro. Like, I don't really care about the Tarmeo. I see him like, okay, I'm just gonna kill your Margaret then, because your Margaret's the main annoying, you know, being able to cleanse and whatnot. So that's just me. But PvE only, the #1 obviously is Jormungandr and Magelda, wherever she's up here. And then probably the other one would be Brunhild, and then Arthur. Those are probably the main 4 PvE units you want to build. You know, for Belmos, or not Belmos, the bird and the deer, probably some of the best units. And then for Belmos, Zaratros, Green Dairy, Green Helbram, I guess. Diane is just here for like Tower of Trials and Final Boss, to be honest. Yeah, some of these units, like, that's just like Guild Boss and stuff like that. Like, it's nothing huge. Stoner, obviously Belmos, Danfer List, Belmos, and Grey Demon. I don't know why I have Jim as PvE only. I actually don't know why he's in there. Delete this Diane from the game. She's actually so terrible. Such a bad unit. And then the Denzel that can solo Halix. But yeah, this is the tier list. If you guys have any questions or anything, you know, you can join the Discord link in the description. If you guys want to argue with me, that's fine. It's probably going to happen. You guys going to see your waifu or your husbando in the bottom, and you're like, oh, hell no, I'm going to come up. Keyboard warrior. But yeah, this is my personal tier list on my opinions on how I've played the game and how I've used the units. So let me know. What unit do you think is SS tier? What unit do you think is C tier? Comment down below. Hope you guys have an absolutely amazing day. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and peace out.